There's a nice one. There, this is a nice fish. Right off the edge of those weeds. Those weeds are probably about 8 feet of water where they, oh, look at that. Isn't that a beautiful fish? That is a nice smallmouth anywhere. Try to wear it out. That's what I love about these fish, is they just don't want to quit. There, nice work. Yeah. You know, and on so many of these lakes here where we're at, northeastern South Dakota, you know, these smallmouths are getting big. They're eating a lot of crayfish. And typically you find round rocks and you find the right depth, the right time of the year where you find these crayfish living, and you throw something that looks like a crayfish, you're gonna catch big bass just like this. You know, in today's show, we're back in an area that's just renowned for bass fishing. There's going to be more and more people that are taking advantage of an excellent fishing opportunity. We're northeastern South Dakota in that Glacial Lakes country, and you know, you look at this area, ice fishing gets a lot of attention, the walleyes get a lot of attention. It's really truly some of the best smallmouth bass fishing you're going to find anywhere, and people are just floored at the quality of fishing, especially people from outside the area that do a lot of bass fishing. I often joked if Wabae or some of these lakes were in the south, there'd be a Bassmaster tournament on it every weekend. You come out here and there's nobody fishing for these fish. We're joined by a gentleman today that's done a lot of fishing. I've known for years. Very astute angler, runs a fishing department at Scheels in Fargo. And Joe is like me. He loves fishing for something that bends the rod, fights hard, and on a lot of these lakes down here, smallmouth are the fish to do it. There, wow, that is a great fish. Wow, isn't that something?
Isn't that fun?
That is fun. You know, it's just classic too. You know, with fishing, you know, there's no such thing as one shoe fits all, in the sense that, you know, we used a different presentation to find them. We were able to cover a lot of water. We were able to work stuff fast. Once we kind of got an idea what these fish were doing or where they're holding, coming in with Finesse monofilament, just a shaky head jig with a craw, and just working it slow, and it seems like we're getting warmer, so we'll keep trying here.
Keep working.
Grab your fish. That's a great bass right there, my friend. Yeah, that's a great fish. Wow, that is a beauty.
We'll get more like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Good as it gets, isn't it, when it comes to fishing? I mean, they've got horsepower. Yeah, cool.
One of the techniques we're using to catch these bass here today is little short hops, keeping that crawfish down on the bottom, maintaining that bottom contact, just rolling it right over them rocks. If you pick up some of that moss down there, you can usually pop it right off.
There. Oh, wow, wow! Look at that. That is a big fish right there. You know, there's probably about a dozen, what I would say, premier smallmouth lakes in northeastern South Dakota here where we're at. Look at that fish there. Great fish, great fish. That right there is one fun, incredible fish. Great fish, great fish. I mean, just the horsepower, the fight these fish have, the jumps, there's not much not to like about smallmouth bass. From our base camp in Devil's Lake, North Dakota, we travel the whole Midwest looking for the best fishing bites. If you'd like real-time fish reports, find out what bodies of water that we're fishing, just to find the general patterns and techniques that we're using, give us a like on Facebook and Hit the Road with Jason Mitchell Outdoors. You know, we've been picking away at fish all day, and it seems like the bite's starting to get more and more action here towards dark. Kind of a mixed bag in here. There, thank you, sir. Okay. Settle down.
Nice fish.
Yeah, fun fish. Isn't that something? You know, we've been catching the smallmouth out on the outside weed edges, outside breaks. We've slid in a little bit here, getting a little bit later on here towards dark, and the smallmouths are on the inside edge. So, cool fish. You know, a lot of times when I'm fishing, I'd rather change locations. I'd rather change a lot of things and not worry so much about color. I figure if I'm doing the right thing in the right place at the right time, I can use the wrong color and sometimes even the wrong presentation and still catch fish. But with that being said, a lot of times when these fish are going on crayfish patterns and you're using a crayfish imitating soft plastic or jig, color can be a big deal. And I think what happens is these crayfish molt, and they're in different stages of the molt where some crayfish will look different than others. And so see it a lot of times where black and blue will get bit, black and red won't. Or sometimes it's a motor oil or a root beer, something that's brown, something that's red. Experiment with those basic earth tone colors. You have your blacks, your reds, your blues, your combinations of, and then your root beer brown colors. But experiment with different colors, because you'll see so often with bass fishing when these bass are on crayfish that they're going to prefer one specific tone of color. And that's what they're keying in on. And imagine with these crayfish, there'll be crayfish that aren't molting, and they're going to be a lot harder to tackle. These fish are looking for the easy crayfish to eat. And so a lot of times it's trying to figure out what color that is to match it up. But there's a lot of great options out there as far as soft plastics. You can also use pork rind or Uncle Josh pork, especially after cold fronts when things get really, really tough. You can use just a shaky head jig like this here, or you can use the weedless Kalin's jigs. You can use the traditional football bass jigs. But one thing that I like to do too when I am using a bass jig is a lot of times I'm first starting out in the day and I'm just trying to figure out what these fish are going to go on. I'll tip a jig with a craw that contrasts with the skirt color. That way I can try to cover a couple different color options to try to figure out what these fish are wanting that particular day. All right, that looks nice.
All right.
I'll get real out of your way here. Give you all the room you need.
All right.
They never run out of gas, do they?
Nope, they sure don't.
You know, in this area here is a great area, but you know, you look over the Missouri River, tremendous smallmouth bass fishing. There's lakes, well, Mille Lacs, there's Rainy Lake, a lot of small lakes.
There he comes.
Oh, that's a largemouth there. Oh. Yeah, great.
Different color.
Yeah, that is a different color, but see a few nice largemouths in these lakes. Look at this here, look at this mark on that fish's head. That's from banging its head in the rocks chasing crayfish. That's what that's from. So we're on the right pattern.
That's right.
Great night.
Yes.
Great night.
Been fun.
Jason Mitchell Outdoors has been brought to you by Scheels, Crestliner Boats, North Dakota Tourism, Salmo Performance Fishing Lures, Cooper Chevrolet, Jason Mitchell Elite Series Fishing Rods, Uncle Josh, Kalin's, Onyx.
To find out more information on Jason Mitchell Outdoors, make their official webpage one of your favorite pages. Find out upcoming show schedules and air times, along with past shows, article and product reviews at jasonmitchelloutdoors.com. Great information on the outdoors is just one click away.